emotional day for each of those players. A euphoric ending to this one. And screaming for it out in the...
Hello, good evening and welcome to the wonderful Cardiff Arms Park. So much rugby history here and in the shadow, of course, of the Millennium Stadium. It's going to be the final of the under-23 rugby tournament tonight, and it is the British Army up against the Royal Air Force. Let's look back at a tournament so far in which the RAF beat the Navy and the Navy beat the Army.
And screaming for it out in this near side, Jay Smith, the winger, takes the ball, a little bit of space to work with Jay Smith here, trying to get past one defender. Wonderful from Jay Smith on that right-hand side. Brilliant from the Royal Air Force. Westfield kick the option once again from Jenkins out to the right-hand side. Just teasing the players as well. He gathers though and gets it over the line. Beautifully finished from that kick. Calls the final whistle. Jubilation for the Royal Air Force in the first match of this Inter-Services 2025 at under-23 level.
So the RAF in a pretty strong position, but never ever discount Army rugby in Inter-Services rugby. It's going to be quite a fixture here tonight. We spoke to the coaching staff earlier about the game. You're in a good position in terms of the tournament. You've already won your game against the Navy, and the Navy then went on to beat the Army, but you can never go into these games sort of complacent in any way. So I imagine you've got all the right tactics and all the right attitude ahead of tonight's fixture.
Yeah, I think the attitude is going to be key tonight. The complacency, like you said, we can't be too complacent going into this, knowing what the Army have brought before and how quality their players are and how prepared they will be. I think our preparedness this week has been truly remarkable from what the standards that have come from the Navy game. Lads haven't rested on their laurels and they've gone full tilt with the training this week and they haven't left anything in the drawer. So.
And also that first game you had against the Navy, beating the sort of current champions, as it were, that must give you a real boost. But the under-23s is always quite an open tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like having done this now for the last 4 years, it's so open because you don't know what crop of players are going to come through the system. You don't know what players you're going to find. Looking at what we have done within Phase 2 trainees and having a look at them, and we've seen I think around 40 to 50 of them this season. So we've done a really deep dive on our quality field, and then produced probably 30 of the best players I've seen in my tenure as team manager.
Finally, the venue. I know you've packed out your side with a whole load of Welshies, which is good. They know the conditions, they know the area. Does that help at all, or is it just the fact that it's an amazing stadium to play at?
Yeah, I think for some of them, I think it feels a bit like a home fixture, even though it's an away fixture. And noting that the head coach is Welsh and it's his final hurrah, quite possibly within RAF and definitely the under-23s. I think it's a bit of a homecoming for some, even though it's an away fixture for us.
Well, good luck, and we'll see you at the end of the game. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
A difficult position coming into this final game. You lost your match against the Navy, and the RAF won their match against the Navy. But can you really pull it out of the bag and produce something tonight?
I trust the boys to deliver tonight. We just didn't turn up against the Navy, and that's just it. And that's been put to bed. Now we focus on tonight's game.
How much have you looked at the RAF and the way they play this year?
We didn't look that much. We just focused on our performance. We kind of fixate on what they did against the Navy because it's in the services. Everyone turns up differently on the night of the game, so we're still prepared to deliver what we want to deliver this week.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's inter-services, that rivalry is always fierce, whatever level of rugby it is. And to be able to play at a ground like this, I know the weather hasn't been particularly forgiving, but maybe it's just true rugby weather, and your boys are ready for any fight they've got tonight.
Yes, boys are keen. They were ready for Monday night when we met up, and they were just excited to get to this ground. And we had a little walk around here on Wednesday evening, kind of rehearsal, just soak it in. And boys are ready as soon as they walked out of the pitch for the warm-up and ready to fire to go against the RAF.
Great. Well, good game and good luck. We'll see you later, Junior.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
So the band behind me are getting juices flowing here at Cardiff Arms Park and building up to what will be an incredible atmosphere for the final inter-services under-23 rugby fixture. For tonight, you are joined on comms by Simon Hunter, and he's got the handy Dave Manning and Mikey McDonald next to him.
The home of Cardiff Rugby welcomes these sides for the grand finale in the Under-23 Rugby Union Inter-Services Championships. Many a rugby legend has been born in this historic venue, now sitting in the shadow of the Principality Stadium, and history is made with the game in this tournament being held in Wales for the first time. Not just the venue, but the tournament too is a brilliant stage for all of these young players, hoping not only to go for glory in the tournament, but also impress the selection panels of the senior sides who take on their own inter-service opponents in the new year. Christmas is almost in the air, you could say, with the feeling of closing out the year, and this showdown, fittingly, is a decider for the competition. The Royal Air Force, well, they're in a great position in the tournament itself, having beaten the defending champions first up, the Royal Navy, 42 points to 14 in the opener, while the Army are needing to bounce back from a 16 points to 14 defeat to the Navy. The RAF haven't won this tournament for 19 years, so they'll be hoping to put on a special show tonight and close that out. The Army, of course, wanting to return to winning ways, and it's going to be an absolute cracker in store this evening. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by two friends and two great rugby brains as well on commentary duties tonight, decorated in their respective rugby careers and service careers. Also a keen eye on this team, these teams as well. Welcome along to the Army's dual code star, Mikey McDonald, also representing Germany in international colours as well, and a man who captained him at UK Armed Forces level, directing the RAF coaching ranks as well now, Dave Manning. Good evening, gents. We're in for a brilliant showdown tonight.
Good evening, Simon. Yeah, really looking forward to it. It should be a great spectacle, and yeah, I'm excited to sit with you two and review this game.
Yeah, it's great to be with you, Si, and as you say, down in Cardiff, we've got the Welsh weather that's falling down on this IS decider, and the crowd's starting to rain in. it's going to be a great match.
I think you were saying as well just a short time ago to me, Dave, off the mic, seeing the crowds coming in, you just get a sense, don't you, of that rugby pedigree here in Cardiff and the love, the legacy of the sport here too.
Yeah, I think if you're going to put a game on and you want to attract just the local people, Cardiff's probably the best place for it. Despite how the national team are getting on at the moment, rugby is in the blood of everyone in this nation. And fortunately for us tonight, they're going to see the military version of rugby. And let's hope it's a great occasion.
Mikey, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? I mean, from your perspective, playing for not only the Army Rugby Union senior side, also Rugby League, as we know as well, it's pretty interesting for you, of course, to be watching some of these players, these prospective players who may be joining you in the ranks sometime soon next year.
Oh, 100%, mate. There's going to be a lot of talent out there tonight, and it's going to be good to see if any of these boys can push on to play a bit of first team later on in the year, or next year, sorry. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, plenty of quality we expect on show as the sides come out onto the field of play. The Royal Air Force in that classic sky blue colour, and the Army in their red, being welcomed out warmly on this chilly Cardiff evening. The rain has relented, at least for the time being, which is great to see. We're hoping for a great show tonight and plenty of running rugby, which we always like to see in these inter-service clashes. The players really putting on a show for all of us here. And for all of you joining this BFBS Forces News YouTube channel live stream, it's great to have you along. Do let us know throughout the evening where you're watching from, wherever you may be. In Wales, around the UK, further afield as well. And we'll endeavour to give you a shout out. It's great to have your company. And what a moment as well, Dave, when the players line out, linking arms, it gets real. And of course the prospect, as we know, the trophy just over there, the prospect of lifting that at the end of the game is a serious one.
Yeah, I think, as you previously said, it's been a long time since the RAF lifted the trophy at this age range. But I'm sure the boys will be focused on the job in hand, and any thoughts of lifting that trophy will be well and truly held for after the 80th minute.
Mikey is a scrum half who, as many of us have seen, loves to run the ball and find space darting around the side of those packs. Synthetic surface we're thankful for tonight after all the rain.
Oh, great surface to play on, 100%. Hopefully the weather stays a bit dry now, and we can start seeing that from the Army team. They need a good performance tonight to get past that deficit of 16 points, but fingers crossed they can get the job done.
Not that they need any extra motivation, of course. That defeat you mentioned, just 2 points to your Navy rivals. I mean, it'll give them certainly extra spark, you'd imagine, in the game.
Couldn't agree more.
And just as we await the anthems, the players and the service personnel as well, and flag bearers lining out, and cried respectfully, just awaiting everything that's to come. It's still December air. renditions of God Save the King and National Anthem of Wales, beautifully sung. And perhaps a bit of nervous energy there as well from some of the Army players getting ready to step out towards the halfway line. A special moment for both these sides, and a time to look at the lineups, starting with the RAF. The Royal Air Force once again led by the dynamic Will Llewellyn, playing at blindside flanker, and joined by Ollie Park and George Bambro in the back row, shielding their half-back pairing of Sam Edwards and Cam Shine, who played brilliantly in their opening match against the Royal Navy. Jay Smith, electric in scoring in that fixture, and starring indeed as well, is once again on the right wing. Will the Army also have a dynamic pack with the try scorer against the Navy, Woody Facey at open side, joining number 6 Toby Green and number 8 Tim Land. And Tom Bullock is the vice-captain in the second row. And it'll be the British Army who'll get proceedings underway, looking to bounce back from that defeat in Portsmouth, Burnaby Road, against the Royal Navy. And a crowd building nicely, just hearing a bit of electricity after those anthems, and the players will be feeding off that, of course, every second of it indeed tonight. Underway in this grand finale for the under-23 Rugby Union Inter-Service Championship from Cardiff Arms Park, live on the BFBS Forces News YouTube channel. Kicked off to the Royal Air Force, Camley put into touch, and we get things underway. Mikey McDonald and Dave Manning alongside me. Mikey, for these fixtures, whether it be in your younger years, as if I make you sound very old, or currently as well for the senior sides, how did you personally manage just to keep that nervous energy under control, certainly at the start of the game?
It's a tough one, you turn up to these games and you know what, the nervous energy is massive. I've always felt it, but as soon as you come out that tunnel and you sing the national anthem, it's a great feeling. You go out there buzzing with your mates, and it's an occasion that you just focus on your job at the end of the day and get on with it. So I'm sure that this Army team will be up for it. It's a good start for them here. Got the ball at the scrum, so let's see what they can launch off this.
Ball just being spilled forward there. Speaking of energy, the Royal Air Force taking it up to the gain line with a bit of pace, but just being spilled forward by fly half Cam Shine and put into the Army. And of course, Dave, the Royal Air Force, with just a bit longer, of course, to wait for this fixture, having played the opener quite a few weeks ago now in the West Midlands and Stourbridge. How will they have been utilising some of that time? They'll just have been raring to go, I'm sure, for the game to have been the following week.
Yeah, I think following that victory at Stourbridge, they'll have been had this date in the calendar for long, and been waiting for it for a long 3 weeks. But they're excited. I think they're really keen to get going, and they'll just want to start well in this first 5 to 10 minutes and just build themselves into this game slowly.
Tagi Tuamua, fly half for the Army tonight, taking that forward, finding a sort of a half break there. A ball just being spilled, and the Royal Air Force taking control of possession, and a thumping hit coming in. But the referee saying that we'll go back for the knock-ons, starting with that of the British Armies.
It's good to see early on that both teams are having a go. I like that. Obviously, it's dry, a bit dry out there now. The range stops, so yeah, it's good to see both teams going for it.
Great to set the tone. As you say, Mikey, these sides looking to take it to each other. It's what we saw from the Royal Air Force in that first game, really hitting the Navy hard. A couple of early scores. Jay Smith's score, player of the match in that fixture early on, that was disallowed, but did indeed get on the scoreboard a couple of times following that. And a man who's played his rugby in Wales as well.
Yeah, Jay Smith, the winger, he's been in with the senior squad this year. Grew up down in Llanelli, played for the Scarlets under 16s level, and now has joined up as an RAF firefighter based out of Waddington. And he's had a great game down at Stourbridge, and I'm sure he'll be looking to repeat that tonight against the Army.
Army really challenging there at the breakdown. Ball coming back. So putting the boot in to find a bit of space behind that backfield. Jay Smith just been talking about him, and some of that electric lightning pace seen there in the opening stages of this match.
Yeah, great space, just shy of 50-22 there, so yeah, great vision by that player there.
I think we've seen quite early Kieran Jenkins, the RAF's 12, who was capped against the Army and the Navy at senior level last year, looking to use his long-range boot. And if he can put the RAF in the right territory, I'm sure it's going to pay dividends during this game.
All good in the line-out so far for the British Army. To drive that maul forward towards that 22. Royal Air Force doing their best to stymie this move. Referee just keeping order as well among ranks.
Good control by the Army line there. Keeping it forward, it's good.
It's good from the Army here. And box kick goes up deep into the night sky. Taken by Llewellyn.
Great chase.
Lambourne Price. Looking for a quick ball there, the Royal Air Force.
Good line speed too from the Army there again, it's good to see.
Running into that red wall. Out it comes. And, Llewellyn, the captain. And move the other way now, the Royal Air Force. Trying to find whatever space is out in that wing, but that's lovely. Move inside. And very nice into the hands of Smith now. Trying to use his power as well, but being shunted back. Out it comes in a low pass, just slipping out of the hands there. Now the Army's turn to put the ball in behind. Lambourne Price watches it very carefully. Steps inside. And not for the first time tonight, ball slipping out of the hands. And the referee duly awarding the scrum.
This is a great attack opportunity here for the Army. Now let's see what they can do with the ball.
How much does it influence your game as a number 9, Mikey, on these synthetic surfaces when it does look fairly greasy, especially all the rain we've had, and you're trying to play that quick game, but as we've seen so far, it's less than straightforward trying to find your receivers.
As a running half, yeah, obviously at scrum half, when the conditions are like this and good artificial pitches, we want a fast game, we want to keep the ball moving. Only thing that will challenge that today will be the fact it's wet, but let's see what the Army can do here in their backs. They look sharp to me, so let's see if they can have a good strike play off this scrum.
Harry Johnson, scrum half tonight for the British Army. And they wheel that round, but it's back into the hands of their opponents. They're trying to tidy that up near the 22. Crossfield coming in, trying to find Smith on the right wing. Stepping inside and trying to bounce those defenders as well. Army ensuring they've plenty of men on him, but that's very nicely done indeed. Llewellyn, the skipper, trying to lead the way with his footwork. And lovely offload as well. Beautiful stuff from Marshall, getting the ball out wide and just parried over into touch. Much to the relief of the support here for the British Army. But the Royal Air Force again, Dave Manning, like they did against the Navy, trying to show they'll utilise that space out wide when they can.
Yeah, I think it's clearly evident that head coach John Neville has given his side the freedom and intent to go wide and try and move the ball. They've already found a couple of spaces, particularly Jay Smith, and then what that does is when you're moving it to the width, the defence often tries to overchase, and that's where you can find a few gaps appearing in the middle, like Llewellyn exploited then. Just a shame that final pass didn't go to hand, because there was a lot of space down that left flank.
Exciting rugby so far here at Cardiff Arms Park. In this game that will decide the championship. Royal Air Force coming off that 42-14 victory. Army looking to bounce back from their defeat to the Navy. Just a little bit of a breeze as well here in the Welsh capital. As Johnson looks to put that in, but referee looking to reset. Busy so far, Harry Johnson. He's had to wait a little bit as well for these scrums to be perfect. The ball does go in, and once again lost by the Army. And Jenkins looking to cut back inside. Very, very nice footwork indeed.
Seems to be over the game that the Army is struggling with at the scrum. The feed isn't going well, or is the scrums ain't pushing too bad either, so it's not looking too good at that scrum time at the minute.
Lambourne Price finding Smith. Smith looking to put the gas on. Just slipping into that challenge. Managing to keep the ball in play though. And very good from the British Army.
Well cleaned up there.
And they've had to defend quite a bit so far from those Royal Air Force threats on the outside. Ball finding touch. Now, what an occasion for some of these younger players, whether experienced or less so at this level. It's a real showcase for their talents as those senior selectors look their way. And of course, we've quite a few watching on with interest ahead of the Inter-Service Senior Championships in the springtime. George Cohen, Army hooker. And taken cleanly. The Army look to get that mole moving again.
That's good from the British Army here. Well controlled again at the back by George in the 9. Johnson. Go on, George.
This time Cohen burrowing his way towards that 22 line. Looking to tidy that up is Johnson. Now the forwards receiving at this stage land this time. Number 8. When it comes to that powerful pack, Maravu this time. Just looking to go through the phases here, the Army, and retain that ball like they've been unable to do in the past 5 minutes. The ref saying that went back. Just getting over the gain line here, over that 22 into Royal Air Force territory. What can they do with this possession here, the British Army? Making those gains and edging ever closer. Sticking with that side, and oh, a lovely offload as well. Very nice ball retention from those in red.
We just need a bit of patience here now, you know, just get through the phases, keep it going. Eventually we can break down the RAF here, so hopefully we can just keep the ball in and keep it tight.
Cole takes it up to the line. Ball comes out again. Probably like a bar of soap for those forwards trying to get the offloads through, and it's coming out on that side once again, the far wing. And a beautiful from the fullback. Very, very nicely done indeed by Hereford John. It's good work here from the forwards. Cohen this time. Placing it back for another forward surge. Look to go again through the men up front. Just over 5 meters away here.
An advantage there as well.
Powering forward. Advantage, as you say, well earned there from the Army, and trying to move it out wide to find the space out on the wing. Cutting back inside. Lovely dart, getting over that line, and a first try in this match. Beautiful from the British Army. Savodi, number 11. That's great stuff.
I think it's clearly evident. You can see that there's two different styles out there tonight. As we mentioned, the RAF looking to move the ball wide. You saw the red shirts very direct there. Got themselves all the way up to the 5-yard line. And then just, as Mikey said, a bit of patience. Just put through a few more phases and they've scored out wide. It's definitely the Route 1 aspect for the Army there that's got them over the gain line.
Showing the value of that patience, as you say, Mikey. Thank you to Amua, setting the ball up to add the extra points. What a start for the Army. Laying down the marker. Tricky angle for that left boot and just pushed rather. So the score remains 5 points to 0. British Army lead the Royal Air Force in this deciding game in the under-23 Rugby Union Inter-Service Championships at Cardiff Arms Park. More filtering into the stands, which is great to see tonight. They've been treated to Some lovely handling so far, despite the conditions, which I'm glad to say are relenting slightly. There's a touch dryer out there, obviously easier to say from the seat of the commentary position. That's gone straight into touch.
That'll be frustrating for the RAF. There's one thing you don't want to do after you've conceded, and that's compound. And they've done that and given the Army a good attacking position, centre field scrum now. They're going to have to try and get some easy momentum changes back into the game now, as we've seen at the last couple of scrums.
Seems to be an area we're struggling with at the scrum time, so hopefully we can get this ball in and out and play off that.
Yeah, that central attacking position, always a good one. Johnson just having a chat with his number 8, Tim Land.
If you notice here, they've obviously stacked the fullback and the 10 together, so hopefully they pick off the right side here, left or right, and strike a good launch play. Get us on some good front football, we can play off that.
Out it comes, and they choose left. And into midfield it goes. Kind of Drola is inside centre tonight for the Army. Oh, nice pick up there as well. Johnson seeing what support he has from his forwards. And going through the phases again, the Army. And just as I say that, the ball spills forward. Now in Royal Air Force possession once again. Trying to ship that through as Jenkins out to the left wing. Richardson, who also had a good game against the Navy. Ball's gone into touch. And the ref comes back for that initial knock on. I mentioned, Dave, the fact that 2006 was the last occasion the Royal Air Force won this tournament, and there's certainly been plenty of development and change since then in many aspects of life, but directing the ship in RAF rugby as you do, I'm sure it's extremely pleasing to see the support that these players are now getting, the crowds that they're now receiving, and the atmosphere as well for them as they try to show off their skills. Yeah,
it's great, as you mentioned. It's a really big spectacle to hold this decider at such a historic venue as Cardiff Arms Park. It's come a long way since playing at our own individual stations, i.e. Halton, Aldershot and Burnaby Road down in Portsmouth. But hopefully this will help us grow the game and military rugby as a whole.
Well, that's lovely stuff from the RAF on that left wing, with Richardson trying to use his gas as best he can, sliding towards that 22. It was good work from Shine initially. Jenkins, Lambourne Price, the Royal Air Force back line is a dangerous one, and the Army know they can't afford to give them too much space to build up a head of steam.
That's the first scrum where we've seen one side get a bit of dominance and be rewarded by the referee with a penalty, so let's hope the RAF can build on this from the line out, which it looks like they're going for.
Jenkins with the boots.
It's a great touch.
Close to that 22 mark. And Brad Avon trying the ball. Five points to nil it remains to the British Army in this fixture. Just over a quarter of an hour played.
Great read there by the British Army. Great steal.
Popping through the hands. There's offloads coming from the Army forwards. Box kick going up. Taken in by Lambourne Price.
That's another great chase off the kick there by the British Army. Pinned him down there, but unfortunately I think they've given away an advantage there.
Not for the first time. This crossfield comes over, but just over the head this time of Jay Smith. Unfortunately for the Royal Air Force. The ref goes back for the penalty, and showing as well, Mikey, the importance of accuracy in those box kicks. And, you know, a 9 off the boot has to be pinpoint.
Of course, yeah, the kick's only as good as the chase. maybe a slightly bit too long, but, you know, the chase made up for it. Unfortunately, they've obviously gone off their feet there at the breakdown and given away a penalty, but I did feel like the chase was a good chase.
The referee just making sure that there's one ball on the pitch. Beautiful spiral kick actually coming through from one of the surface personnel stationed on.
The referee needs to work on their kicks, doesn't he?
Maybe something to mention after this game.
Clubfoot.
We know plenty of sledging in the Ashes at the moment, but some coming in there from Mikey McDonald to the ref as well, as that ball goes into touch on the 22 line.
The RAF will look to make amends for the previous error at the line-out. It looked like they just got their drill wrong, and then the Army got up and stole it at front ball, so they'll look to tidy this line-out up.
It goes rather long and just nudged forward. Another mistake.
A bit of afters, but here we go.
It's the exchange of opinions from the players, reminding each other of how big a clash this is. Perhaps saying congratulations to each other too. Just a little stop-start at the moment as the referee looks to speak to both the skippers.
Yeah, I think I put the commentator's curse on the RAF there at the line-out time. Frustratingly, they did the job. They created the space, went up in the air, and just a slight overthrow it looked like, and they couldn't capitalise on what looked to be a good position for a drive-in maul.
I think it's all good, Dave. It's not as if they can listen back and hear you say that.
Yeah, I'll wait for those messages tomorrow.
Yeah, keep it going, Dave.
That's a sense of deja vu here. Similar position again on that 22. Shine having a word with Lambourne Price, his 15. He's lurking in that backfield.
That's much better from the British Army there. They're taking that space on the edge as well. It's good to see.
Going blind, and
it's a great kick as well.
Ford watching that over his head and having to scamper back. Oh, beautiful turn of pace. A lovely angle as well. It's very well recovered. Back into Army hands.
The space in the bottom left corner here, they can get it there.
Royal Air Force up in defence. Coming up at speed are those Army forwards.
Johnson. Space is there for the British Army on the edge.
They've got numbers there on that right-hand side. They can utilise those hands. Screaming for it was the tight head call. And, well, it's slippery out there, and that's for sure.
It seems to be the last pass, isn't it, for both teams at the minute. They're spinning it wide and they're getting it up the field. It's just that final part of execution that's just letting them down both sides. Got to say, so far it's been a really good competitive game of rugby. I've been impressed with both teams.
Absolutely fitting for a finale.
Be interested to watch here if the RAF try and win a penalty at the scrum. It appears that Rob Toner, the RAF tight head, seems to be getting his upper hand on his counterpart in the RAF. Looking at his angle, yeah, and there's the penalty, given reward by the referee.
Sigh of relief for the Royal Air Force. That's well done in that front row. The ball hasn't quite made it into touch. The Army look to counter-attack this one. Taiketua Mua putting the left boot in, finding the backfield. Lambourne Price this time, looking inside, now looking outside. Beautiful footwork, putting Smith into space. What can Smith do? One defender. And the Army tracking back well there to get more men on the other side of the ball.
And if they spin it left there, they're on.
Oh, Llewellyn, the skipper, now bundling forward. They've got numbers, the Royal Air Force out left. Cutting back inside, though.
Oh, wrong decision.
And the Army had numbers there in defence. So much space for the Royal Air Force. They retain possession. Llewellyn again.
Advantage here for the RAF.
Free play of sorts. Trying to dart back inside.
Cheeky little show and go there from the scrum half.
This is where the RAF just need to show as much patience as the Army did when they got into the same area of the pitch. And just go through the phases and try and earn another penalty or the opportunity. Looks like it's on here on the right wing for Jay Smith.
Smith now, what can he do? He gets in.
I'm sure his foot was in touch.
Or was he just? He thinks it's fine. The referee saying not so much, but coming back for the penalty.
That looked extremely close to me. It was a great finish in the corner. He definitely managed to get the ball down. I'd definitely like to see a replay to see if that right foot was in touch. However, frustratingly for Jay Smith, for the second game on a bounce, he's had a try disallowed. But hopefully it's good omen for how the match will finish.
Yeah, great effort from Jay Smith on the edge there, but Dave, I don't think them glasses are working. Right.
Sometimes the voice of optimism is what people want to hear. Yeah, it's well, he's probably feeling, Jay Smith, as if he needs to score 100 tries just to have 3 in the book. He is getting those disallowed, some of them. But I tell you what, it's very clear that he's one of their star receivers on the end of those moves. A low centre of gravity as well, that stocky figure. Tough for the Army defence as that ball is put into touch. Royal Air Force opting for the line out.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the 14 Jay Smith so far. He looks like a handy player.
Yeah, he picked up the Man of Match award in the Navy game, and I'm sure he looks about he's going the same way this night.
Marshall and Avon just having a little conference there as Avon waits for a ball to be found. One's booted onto the field and Shine goes chasing after it. And that ball hasn't quite found the intended recipient. It's gone rather into the stand. So Avon will have to request a little assistance in getting it back. But here we are. We're back in play.
I'm sure the Army will look to steal this again. Oh, that's a good lineup from the RAF.
Taken cleanly by the Royal Air Force. Looking to march forward to that line. An advantage again being played by the referee. As it comes, the Army up very quickly as Jenkins tries to pierce that midfield defence. Quick ball. Back inside as they go through the phases. The referee may reach for his pocket here. He's had enough, losing his patience with those Army infringements. And the yellow card being shown will indeed be a sin binning. So
it'll be a tough 10 minutes now for the British Army here, especially defending on their 5 metre.
It's the Vice Captain Tom Bullock who's having to go off the field for 10 minutes. And a great opportunity here for the Air Force.
Be interesting to see what the Army decide here, whether they stay down and try and defend them all, or they go up and try and compete and disrupt it at source.
What would you do, Dave?
Me, having just lost the second row to the sin bin, I'll probably stay down and just try and hold out the RAF forwards.
And it comes and being tipped over the top into Army hands is the ball.
Yeah, the RAF will be frustrated once again. That's another lineup that's not necessarily worked. The Army have got it well and stolen at the front.
The boot comes in.
Oh, and it's a great kick away as well.
Hefty kick into the hands of Smith. Lambourne Price now summing up his options. And has done before.
The space in the backfield now, the Army can see it. George can move the ball here.
Cuts back inside, rather.
He was never passing that ball, was he? Great carry there.
They move forward, the British Army, very nicely. Out it comes, and just behind the hands of Green, but takes it into contact. The power seen there of Maravu, the loose head. Referee keeping a close watch on that. Harry Johnson takes the ball out.
I've noticed that the RAF are defending very narrowly in the spaces. It's creating a lot of space for the outside backs of the British Army here.
A great opportunity there for the Army. They keep the ball in hand. What can they do on that blind side? Looking to go again down that side as Johnson Trying to push that through the hands. Royal Air Force doing everything they can just to try and stop the flow of those offloads.
You can hear Junior Buller-McCall there screaming the orders from the sideline.
Ball inching ever closer. 5 metre line, and then the try line is beckoning for the British Army. Can they get a second here?
This is it now, a bit of composure on that line, a bit more pressure.
Forwards looking to pile forward.
Forwards putting in a good shift there. Go on,
Seeing a bit of space.
Great carry.
Lovely from Woody Facey.
And he's in, I think.
And held up, the referee says. Great defence from the Royal Air Force. And the last-ditch attempt there. Facey looking to add to his tally after scoring against the Navy, but, well, that was...
It's a shame he can't get a replay on that, because I'm sure he was over the line. Great quick ball, very unlucky.
It looked like there was a huge collision in there, in amongst all of that, and it looks like Lewis Price, the RAF fullback, may have come off worst. However, somehow the RAF managed to hold out, and they'll get a chance to relieve their lines with the goal line dropout.
Well, the intensity at which this game has been played has been thrilling so far. It's great that both teams, as you noted, Mikey, at the start, are just trying to take it to each other. Nothing conservative about the way they're playing.
Yeah, it's great to see. Obviously, the Army are a man down now, and they're still having a go, you know. They don't have to do that. They can, you know, be more safe and just put the ball in the other end of the field and just, you know, hold out the 10 minutes. But they are still going for it, and it's good to see.
And I think the concerning thing for the light blue and certainly their coaches will be how, as Mikey identified, they're starting to defend quite narrow. For me, having the bird's eye view, it's more the forward pack aren't working around the corner and folding, which is not allowing the backs to stretch the field in defence, particularly when they've got a man over as well.
Clifford John taking the ball from Savodi. Just, a rather high challenge there. But ref plays on. Maravu. He's been quick with his service, Harry Johnson, tonight. And a penalty there for the Army.
Let's see what the Army do here. Will they go for the 3? I saw in the warm-up the 10 was slotting over from about this range. So, man down. Let's see what they do.
And they are pointing to the posts. We'll go for the 3 points from the penalty.
I'm sure that was Junior barking the orders from the sideline again on that call.
Yes, he heard you, it seems. Junior Buller-McCall, it's been an amazing journey for him in his rugby career as well. The Army coach of the under-23s, and a wonderful interview he did with Julian Evans. Great piece on Forces News, which is definitely worth a watch. A fantastic, inspirational story. Many great things to check. And great news is we can watch some of that at half-time as well. And plenty more great content on Forces News website. That's what Canny Drola. Aims for those posts, but just pushes it wide, and the score remains British Army 5, Royal Air Force 0.
Let's see if the RAF go for a short kick-off here, or if they just drill it long.
Trying to put a bit of distance into that one. Savodi again.
It's great to see the Army just having a go all over the park. They're just looking to spin the ball and have a go. The back line are looking really dangerous, I feel, and I've been impressed so far with their performance.
We've had a good deal of possession in the last 10 minutes. The British Army still a man down in the sin bin.
Yeah, this is really good game management by the Army. They may have missed the penalty, but again, they've got regained possession from the dropout, and they're just nothing too crazy. They're just going through the process of phases and just winding down that clock until they get their second row back on the field.
Plenty of Army shirts lining up in the back line to take that ball. Oh, nice bit of work trying to find more space. But Jay Smith coming through and using every bit of those limbs to try and get that ball moving forward. Kicking it on with his knee, but back into Army hands. Nice offloading and good enterprising stuff from those red shirts. Savodi and
Great feet.
Nicely evading the challenges.
Oh, he held it on there. Yeah. It's a good turnover by the RAF there.
Again, I think a strike of the commentator's curse. The Army probably showing a little bit of their youthfulness there. They got a bit excited, 2 or 3 offloads in a row, but it got isolated on the end. And I think there's 2 RAF bodies in there for the jackal, and they're rewarded by the referee.
And testament to the ferocity of some of those challenges. I think Jenkins just touching his nose there. Seems to be fine, and puts that ball down near that 22 mark. Do let us know where you're watching tonight. We'll endeavour to give you a shout out wherever you may be. BFBS Forces News YouTube channel. As Brad Avon puts that in, cleanly taken as well. Out it comes, Jenkins first receiver. A bit of a low pass. Bobbling along the ground, and Richardson this time. Dancing feet of Richardson getting over that 22 line. Quick ball as well for the Air Force. Only doing their best to disrupt that, the gain line, but taken nicely as well by Toner, the loose head, the tight head. Jenkins once more.
Great shot by George there. Great shot.
And his opposite number as well, Avon. Richardson has the ball. Lambourne Price looking in support. Just looking to tidy that up. The ball that came bouncing through to him. Oh, and looking to go blind. That's very nicely done. But ending up in touch. Sam Edwards. Well, they're all Air Force. You can't blink because they're finding that space. Just those link-ups. Getting the ball into the desired hands isn't quite working at the moment.
I think they'll be frustrated once again. I was starting to look into the Army midfield there, and you had 1 or 2 of their front row forwards that looked like they were taking a little bit of a breather there, and they just couldn't kind of move the ball further in field and pick them off.
Yeah, exactly. Like on that, that's a great little snipe, but they don't need to do that at the minute. They can just afford to, go through the phases, the exact same way the Army are doing it, and that's how I feel they're going to get over the line.
Oh, it's gone forward off RAF hands as the referee signals.
The Army will be very pleased with that. Again, they've been under a lot of pressure and they forced another error. So, hopefully they can get a good exit out of here and play down this end of the park again. But again, that red wall is staying very strong.
I think if I'm Will Llewellyn here, the RAF captain, given the area of the field with the Army put in, I'd be geeing up my forward pack here to have a real test at this. Having won the penalty at the last scrum, I'd really be trying to put the Army under pressure and force a tricky exit.
100%. The Army need to get this ball in and out as soon as possible.
Johnson with the put-in. Free kick there for the Army.
A good win for the Army again.
Just a little bit over-eager there. Just got to hold it and wait for that ball to come in.
End-over-end kick, finding its way towards halfway. And some of your comments coming in. Avon Seller 2 says, let's go J-Boy. And James Paddington says, bring it home Air Force. Keep those coming in. Let us know where you're watching as well.
Just a free kick on that exit there, but obviously, again, that's another 40 metres out from the try line that we've got away, and it's put us in a much better position on the field. Dave, are they going to strike here? Are they going to go wide?
I think it's been the theme of the night so far, so yeah, I'll be looking for that ball to move off a quick midfield ruck here and then move the ball wide.
Very nice from Park, the open side. I think you two gentlemen are looking to play on the commentator's curse for your own gains.
Yeah, I think Mikey's trying to set me up here, and I think it's worked as well.
It's a great turnover there.
I think the RAF didn't quite get where they wanted to on first phase, and that seemed to have a knock-on effect on their organisation afterwards. I think they wanted to come open one more phase, and then they've moved back in field, and we haven't got the support to the breakdown quick enough. And again, two red shirts in there, jackling the ball and rewarded by the referee.
That is another brilliant touch find there by the number 15. It's a great kick. This is a great chance now. They've got their yellow card back on, back to 8 men in the pack. Let's see if we can rumble this over and strike off that, because in the outside edges we're looking very strong as well as an Army team, so let's see what they can do.
Well, we've talked plenty about Harry Johnson tonight, the number 9 for the Army. We've got a word in from Jack Johnson, JJ, of course, senior men's fly half for the Army, who says best luck to the Army. Best of luck to Simon Hunter, dealing with Dave and Mikey, he says. But he does also add that he's enjoying himself, so great to have you along, JJ, as the Army look to bundle forward.
If there was one person to comment on that live stream today, it would have been JJ, wouldn't it?
It's great to have your company, JJ. The referee's saying that's gone forward as well.
The Army will be frustrated with that. They seem to have a pretty good maul set up there, and just that slight knock-on at the back. Real coach killer, that is.
A test of the Royal Air Force's exit strategy here.
Interesting.
A lovely pass as well to Lambourne Price. He's putting the pace on as well. Taken down just short of halfway.
Yeah, like you're identifying there, Dave, the backfield is completely open, so that needs to be exploited.
Bambro using his power to take that forward.
It's better from the Air Force.
It's lovely, lovely offload as well from Llewellyn. The cap tonight to Jay Smith, and Jay Smith doing what he does best to locate that try line and sprint right over it. Brilliant stuff from the right winger, who's having a fantastic season and a fantastic time in that light blue shirt.
It's a great finish, but I'm sure that offload went forward, but you know, despite that, it's a fantastic finish from the RAF. Like, he's having a great game, that 14.
Yeah, I agree. I think watching that back, I think that was a bit of a speculative offload by the captain, Llewellyn. However, nothing called by the officials. And Jay Smith, again, we're seeing him tonight. He's beating the first man every time, and then left the full back, probably left a little bit too much room down that 5-metre channel. And Jay's backed his pace, taking it round, and got close enough into the post for hopefully a conversion that Kieran Jenkins can make.
Well, with a forward and a back alongside me, who has the greater bragging rights, do you reckon? I mean, what an offload, as you say, Llewellyn. And into the hands of Jay Smith, who is just one of the best finishers at this level in military rugby.
I think for me, in that case, I think Jay Smith's got to take the plaudits there. It's a great. He's beaten 2 men down in a really narrow channel, using his strength and his pace.
Well, the kick's just pushed a bit from Jenkins. So the score's locked on 5 apiece. Royal Air Force and British Army here at Cardiff Arms Park, just shy of half-time as well. And a scintillating first half it's been. Plenty of opportunities for both sides in attack. And a try each, keeping everyone entertained and on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, really good time for the RAF to score now. However, we need to make sure we deal with this Army kickoff. Probably on reflection of the first half, I think it's probably pretty even scoreline. 2 good teams going at each other in a great venue.
Jenkins with that big boot. It's coming off upper regions of the stand. A healthy crowd as well in that part of the stand. Good to see them coming out in this rugby mad city on a very wet December night.
Yeah, it's coming back now, isn't it, that rain? Let's see how they deal with this line-up. Nice strike move there from the Army.
Just being bounced off by Brad Avon of the Royal Air Force.
On.
Got numbers here on that side. Utilising that space, the British Army. You can hear those in support in the crowd as well, getting louder.
Good counter rock in there from the RAF.
Ball's just gone behind them, rather. And Cohen having to clean up. Lost a bit of ground.
He's done well there to clean up there, George.
Trying to come through the middle for Canadrola. Seeing what space is available to them. Maravu.
Defending much better there from the RAF. The Army are trying to go down that right side quite a bit, and I think the RAF is starting to mark it up now and see what's going on. Their D's definitely got better. Great tip on.
Defending in earnest, the Royal Air Force, and earning the rewards. Ball going forwards, but the referee signalling that is it for the half, as the players head into the warmth and the dryness of the changing rooms. What a first half we've seen, gentlemen. 5 points each. Royal Air Force and British Army going for this trophy in the under-23 Inter-Service Championships. Firstly, Mikey, what have you made of what the British Army has brought? Of course, scoring first tonight. What have you thought of their tactics this evening?
Well, they've come into it as underdogs, haven't they? Big time, and I think they've come out, hit the ground running, and they've had a go. I've been really impressed with the way they've played, to be honest. That final third, they need to look after the ball a bit better, but I think if they can continue to do what they're doing in that second half and sort out in that 22, there's a good chance to come away with a win here. And obviously they need that 16 points to get into services. Is that too much of a push? We'll have to wait and see, but I've been impressed with the Army team so far.
And Dave, Royal Air Force, responding there through Jay Smith's try, and responding they needed to do to go in level at half-time.
Yeah, as I said, great time in for the score just before we go into half-time to level up the game. I think probably the message from the RAF coaches will be for more of the same. As long as the weather holds off, continue to move the ball wide because they're making yards. I think it'd be really then just a bit more accurate when they get within 10, 15, 20 metres. We've seen 3 or 4 more opportunities go and miss. A little bit of needless snipes down the breakdown when they're building pressure. The referee's already gone to his pocket once, so you want to apply the pressure when you get into that red zone area. I think if they can do that, there may be more points out there for the RAF tonight.
Yeah, mouth-watering second half in store. Don't go anywhere. Brilliant action to come in the second 40 here at Cardiff Arms Park. We'll have a bit of a break, but plenty of great content to sink our teeth into, starting off with that chat we mentioned earlier. Julian Evans speaking to the Army Under-23 head coach, Junior Bulumakau. Don't go anywhere.
Army Navy 2015. Standing there doing the national anthem, seeing my family watching me from the stand, knowing that I'm on TV, having my family back in Fiji, seeing me on the Army Navy. Afterwards, getting the man of the match, scoring tries that I've always loved scoring tries. That is one moment I will never forget, because my first Army Navy, that I shared that field with Jack Prasad, Naka, Ves, Rocco, Bowley, Pete Austin, Turkish, Matt Dwyer. Those older men now has taught me a lot. They told me that, Junior, this is going to be a first Army Navy. It's going to be a tough one. But remember, it's just another game of rugby. Have fun, enjoy it, and just keep smiling. Don't let the Navy put you down. So, okay. So that's the one moment I will never forget, because I went there as a young man. I came out of that game as a better man than what I was after 80 minutes. A way better man. Got injured at 2019 on October the 4th, playing for Coventry against Ealing. I had a really bad knee injury. I had MRI scans, and the result told me that it was an ACL rupture. So I had to rehab, Then when I went for my surgery, it was a lot worse than what I showed on the scan. So they fixed my ACL, my meniscus, everything that was on my knee. They had to fix it, repaired. Then I was in the process of going through my rehab program. The day before my 6 weeks checkup, I told my wife I'm not feeling well. So I went upstairs. I just sat down and went for a 20-minute nap, but I thought it was 2 hours. Then I woke up and I was just not well. And I looked at my knee, it was just swollen up. Then the next day, I went into the doctor's appointment and he looked at my knee. It's like, oh, that doesn't look right. So he drained the knee and he looked at the fluid and he told me, Junior, your knee's affected. So they took some sample, took my blood. I went back home and I got a phone call 5 minutes before I go home on that same day. They told me that you need to come back in right now because the infection marker is really high. And I was like, why? Can you not just wait until tomorrow? And they told me, you're awake right now. If you go to sleep, you might not wake up. But if you do, we have to amputate your leg. And it came to my sense. It was, right, okay, I have to go. So I went in, done the surgery, emergency surgery. Then I found out I had a staph infection. And that was only my first one. And I've had 8 operations now. And I've had 2 staph infections. The last staph infection that I had was last year on Father's Day. So of all days, on Father's Day, I woke up that morning knowing my knee was just throbbing. So I was rushed to A&E, and they took me into A&E, and they looked at me and they drained my knee again. That was after 5 years, and they told me that your knee is affected again. The questions were going through my mind: why is it happening to me? Why me? And they told me that you're lucky you're here on Father's Day. And I said, well, I'm not lucky because I was meant to have a nice Sunday lunch. Now I get to miss that because I'm now having an operation. Well, would you rather be at home or be here to get fixed? And I said, well, is this going to ruin any of my career in the army? Well, the thing we can tell you right now, you might not have a leg tomorrow morning. So if that infection marker didn't come down to at least to 100, they would have amputated my leg. So I was on antibiotics for the whole night, couldn't sleep. I had fluids, over 40 liters of fluid flushed out of my knee. Then coming in the Monday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, they came in and told me and said, look, the infection markers came down, but we have to go into your knee again and to flush out some more of that fluid out of your knee. So I said, okay, crack on. And one question I asked them is that, will I still have my leg? And as a rugby player, as a winger, what I've always known is running really hard, really fast. And when I asked that question, that's the one thing that I was feared. What I feared about was that I'm not able to walk, won't be able to run again, won't be able to do what I've always loved doing, is running and scoring tries. And the one thing that really touched me more was that I was not able to show my kids what my dad showed me, those skills, those experiences on how to catch a high ball, how to jump, how to run. Because that's the only thing I was scared about, is that I won't be able to pass that experience into my 2 kids and show them the sidesteps in the game. And that's the only thing that was running through my mind, is that will I be able to run or walk?
I got stabbed multiple times from the machete. From here down to there, you can see it peering through a little bit there. I'm Kyle Shortullen, I'm a Royal Marine Commando, I'm a GB boxer, and this is my story. I was in the ICU for 2 weeks initially. Just don't really remember anything at that point because I was just asleep for 2 weeks. I was just on so many very strong painkillers. But that worked the hard part. That was probably the easy part. The hard part was probably rebuilding from that mentally. You know, 17 years old, I couldn't really carry myself. I thought I knew the world, didn't. When you go from just being a normal kid and then having a big red scar on your face, I felt like my life was over, and that's such a silly thing to think. I got stabbed from here down to there. You can see it peering through a little bit there, and on my chest, and also down my face. But that made my muscles were very fatigued. This arm was noticeably very slimmer than my right, so being an orthodox, it was hard to hold the hand up. It'd get very tired, so that took a lot of rebuilding the strength in. Made the best decision of my life, which was to join the Royal Marines. Didn't know it'd be the best decision back then. Didn't realise what I was getting myself into. It was very, very tough, but that's what really made me who I am. It's definitely a very tough course, very demanding. It's full on, whereas boxing, I would say, is performance-based. Marines is more survival-based. Make it to the next day and look after the lad either side of you. I always tell people it's the proudest thing ever that I ever did. I achieved my greatest achievement in life already. Nothing will ever come close to my green lid. Not an Olympic medal or anything else in life. It'll always be my green lid. I had an opportunity and I took it, and that opportunity was to join the Royal Navy Boxing. Took it and it kept paying off because I kept winning that year, and then I fell in love with the sport all over again. Obviously went straight into the UCAFs, won them against the Army, and then went through to the ABAs, got all the way to the final, and then became ABA champion. A lifelong dream I always wanted. Where I first represented England was at the Tri-Nations against Scotland and Wales, where I was victorious, became Tri-Nation champion, and then continued on the pathway and had 2 more international tournaments in the back half of the year. One in Tikal, Spain, where I got a silver medal, and finished the year off in Zagreb in Croatia, and 3 fights and got gold.
What is your long-term dream in the sport?
My long-term dream is to go to the Olympics and win an Olympic medal, gold. But my ultimate goal in the sport is to, whenever I give it up, just to say I give it my all and I did my best. It's surreal to come from the estate in Oldham that I have. That I can't think of anyone who would have done that in the circumstances that I have and gone through the stuff that I've been through. I just think it'd be an amazing personal achievement, but I think it'd be a great inspiration for everyone coming up in low-income council estates like myself.
If you were able to tell your younger self something, what would you say?
I would just say, experience is key. Can't rush nothing in life. Everything is teaching you a lesson for good and bad, and always see the glass as half full.
Welcome back to Cardiff Arms Park for this decider in the under-23 Rugby Union Inter-Service Championship, and not a point separates the sides. 5-5 going into the second half between the Royal Air Force and the British Army.
It's a great restart there from the RAF, and making the most of a backfield play. It's a great kick forward and chase.
Wonderful pressure there exerted on that Army defence right away, and it's
a brilliant start to the second half by the RAF.
Kennerson, number 23 for the Army, pushed into touch, and just the start Dave Manning, Royal Air Force, will have wanted.
Yeah, it's a great kick through with his weaker foot, actually, from Kieran Jenkins, the RAF's number 12. They're really difficult balls. I mean, Mikey will be able to tell you more, but for the back 3 players dropping down on that, it's do I pick it up, do I let it go to touch? It's really difficult judgment, and and the kick's been that good. He's had to pick it up, and the RAF defence have put him into touch, and they've got one of those opportunities I spoke about just before half-time. Let's see if they can capitalise on this.
Yeah, he left that ball as long as he could there. That was the only option he had, really, was to regather it and take it to touch. So, yeah, great field position for the RAF coming up here. Let's see what they can do from this line out.
George Cohen just receiving a bit of treatment there. Some medical treatment, and hopefully all right to continue.
Yeah, sad to see. He's a great player in this 23s team. It would be a big miss if he comes off the field.
We've mentioned the pace and the handling and the offloads in this game, but some of those challenges have been ferocious. The hits coming in, you can hear them from right up at the back of the stand as well. It's very physical, and of course both these sides will have been under no illusions as to the physicality brought by their opponents tonight.
I think that might be a horribly big dead leg potentially on George there.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty, Si, about inter-service rugby, regardless of what level it is. You put one service up against another, and I think the physicality is the thing you can expect, whatever the scenario, whether that's under-23s, women's, vets, or the senior 15. And I think military rugby around the UK is renowned for it.
Well, a bit of strapping, and George Cohen is up and moving around, which is great to see. And he'll play on in that hooker position as Royal Air Force get ready to throw into the line out. It goes along this one and over the top and into Army hands.
Great hands from the Army. Spread it early.
What options do they have out wide, the British Army?
It's a great counter, but again, it's disappointing from the RAF there. They were in another great position to go potentially over the line for a 5-pointer, and they've coughed up the ball yet again.
It comes again.
Great ball and great hands there from the British Army.
It's lovely from Facey, the open side, with that offload as well after finding a half break. Good power as well. Cole this time, the tight head.
Army seem to be getting quite a bit of go forward and success around that breakdown area, with a couple of picks through the middle, which we've become accustomed to with the senior 15. I know it's something that the RAF had identified that they really wanted to shore up, so I'm sure John will be a little bit frustrated that they're starting to make a few yards in that area.
Oh, Perks with quite a big hit on Cohen, who's just been getting up and receiving some treatment and hobbling towards that scrum again. Good to see him back up.
Just going back to that line now, clearly the RAF have had a few issues when they've got in that area. The Army are stacking a pod up the front and then just moving it probably to the 6 or 7 yard line, and the RAF are rightly so trying to throw over that. However, they're looking more to the right at the back, the 13-14 yard mark. I'm just wondering if they could put their pod up in the middle, right in the middle of the line out. They might have much more success and a bit of an easier throw for Brad at hooker.
A bit messy there. Jay Smith almost being upended, but managing to hold on to the ball. It's good Army defence so far. Coming back for Shine to put in the clearance.
Brilliant kick.
Now time for the Army counter.
Backfield.
Going up towards Lambourne Price. We've seen a few high balls this evening so far. The Army have seen plenty of his footwork as well, darting back inside.
Yeah, Price is having a really good game at the back there. He's taken 3 or 4 balls under pressure now as well. Seems to be a sure set of hands in the backfield.
Well taken by Perks. I'm going to come onto that ball.
It's a great tip on and another great carry there from the number 3.
Great power from Toner. And very good read, but the RAF continue to ship it.
Good ball.
Miss pass to Balmbro. Can't quite connect with Mosley. And penalty for the Royal Air Force.
There you go, Dave. Another one in the corner, mate.
Yeah, we'll see what the boys decide to do here, but I'm sure Willowelyn already is thinking about his line-up call. Just going back to that run by Rob Toner, obviously he's put a big first-half shift in the set piece, but it's great to see him. It's one of his strengths. Not only can he deal with a set piece, but he's also very elusive in the loose. He's a big, strong, powerful runner. I'm sure as this game progresses, he'll continue to do so. And
oh, that's criminal for the RAF.
A mistake from Shine.
It's a shame he's been kicking really well. It's his first full kick of the game from the fly-half from the RAF.
yeah, interesting. Kieran Jenkins didn't kick that ball. He's done majority of the kicking out of hand tonight. Possibly with a short distance they went to Cam Shine, but unfortunately the result was an Army put in on the edge of the 22.
James Mosley on this near wing for the Royal Air Force, replacing Freddie Richardson. Adam Ford, rather, I beg your pardon. Richardson in the 11 shirt moving into the centre. Mosley on the left wing. There's shuffling going on.
Looking at how the Army's setting up here, looks like they might look to strike and go wide yet again. And the ball comes out.
Good shove on from the Air Force.
Great footwork. And it goes wide again. It's good hands from the Army.
A bit of space there now on that
the
far
space.
side.
Great speed.
Wonderful speed and good defensive work to track back and get him into touch.
It's a brilliant tackle. But again, great to see the Army attacking from their own line, pretty much. And they've made, what, 60 metres? It's a win-win.
Savodi's been slippery in attack tonight. Wonderful pace on that wing.
Looks like a change for the Army loose head. So Rob Tony will have a new Army prop to have a go at. It'll be interesting again to see if they attack here and try and get a penalty, which will allow them to get possession and back into the Army half.
Strong from the Army there.
Out it comes, and a looping pass out to Mosley. He's not been in the pitch very long. Seeing what support he has with Lambourne Price, he looks to put in a bit of footwork, as does Jay Smith, but taken back by the British Army. There's a bit of space opening up in backfield as well, and they utilise that. So far going through the hands of the forwards.
Good to see the referee seeing that one. It's an advantage for a forward pass. Not anymore.
Celebrations there from the Royal Air Force.
It's interesting, as you say, Si, there was plenty of space in the backfield. I know quite often on turnover ball, teams will be told to try and move the ball once or twice and attack. However, with a bit of greasy conditions and territory playing such a crucial part tonight, and as it does often, I'm just wondering if an early kick for either team would put the opposition under a lot of pressure, as we saw with Jenkins' kick into the 22, resulting in a 5 metre line out. Possibly look to go to the boot a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Dave. It's, in my opinion, it's the biggest part of the game at the minute. The kicking game is so important. They need to utilise it both sides.
Earning themselves the penalty there, the light blues. Shine just chatting to Jenkins and figuring out options, and it's Jenkins who's
he's on for the penalty kick. Optimistic.
Huge opportunity here for Jenkins. You know, he's got that big boot. Practicing before the match as well.
See, I like this player because regardless, if he misses the kick, you know, the boys are going to get the ball back, regardless. So why not? It's a shot to nothing at the end of the day.
If the RAF can ensure they follow it up with a really good kick chase, regardless if it drops short, they'll be able to put the Army under pressure and force them to exit.
Off it comes the boot of Jenkins, and the distance is certainly there, but it's just gone wide. Good.
It's a great effort. He definitely had another, 5-6 metres on that as well. It's a great kick. Very unlucky to put it wide.
Nice bit of timing from the boot of the 12. Shine to his captain, Llewellyn. He's been proving hard for the Army to take down tonight. The advantage being played. But it comes.
Great defence.
Lambourne Price having to take that off his bootlaces.
The RAF can move this ball wide. The Army seem to have dropped 3 or 4 in the backfield. There's plenty of space out there.
Yeah, a little kick coming through. Eagerly chased by Jay Smith. But referee coming back for the penalty. Craig Avon wishing the RAF well, watching from the United States. Great to hear from Brad's dad this evening. Brad Avon, of course, hooker for the Royal Air Force. And a good one for you boys. Justin Coleman, of course, RAF coach and UCAF in his time. Loving the Mikey and Dave commentary combo. There you go. There's a tick in the right box.
Good to hear. Is that from JJ too, is it, or someone else?
This one from JC rather than JJ this time, Justin Coleman. Haven't yet seen JJ's response, but I'm sure, as always, he'll be in good voice, clicking those fingers when he comes up with those ideas.
Yeah, the better, Joe.
So 10 yards closer this time for Jenkins. If he can just get the accuracy correct, we know he's got the range in the bag.
Through it comes, and it's good this time. The 3 points added by Jenkins. Healthy strike, lovely contact. The Royal Air Force now lead 8 points to 5 in this deciding match of the under-23 championships in Cardiff Arms Park.
2 great decisions to go for the post there, as we discussed with that first one, to get, at least at worst, to get the ball back. But they've clearly had the message in the changing rooms at half-time that if they get the chance to take points, to absolutely take them in a tight tussle like this.
Well, the Army will be delighted with that. Mistake going through the hands and then the legs as well, rather nutmegging himself on the way through to touch. So what we've seen tonight is both sides haven't really had any problems in trying to take the ball quickly to the gain line in response after conceding. Laying it all out in the line tonight, but that ball's gone long, well taken in.
It's a good line out by the Army there.
Tim Land.
Good throw in by George. Advantage here. Let's see what the Army can do.
Little chip goes through into that 22. Lambourne Price taking it nicely, but the referee going back after that free play, rather.
Interesting. Did the Army go for the corner here, or do they go for the 3 points? I'm assuming the sideline will be saying one thing, but let's see what the boys on the field do.
Corner it is.
That's a great kick, puts them right on the 5.
This is a big opportunity here for the Army. Hopefully we can make the most of this line out.
It was a great throw by the Army hooker last time to reach the tail of the line out. Very difficult to defend mauls at the back when the majority of the RAF are stacked at the front with the pod.
First objective, taking it in cleanly, and now that rolling maul comes out.
Good. George boss it at the back there, as you can see. Johnson's now in.
Just a couple of metres away now, the British Army. Very close indeed.
Boys.
Almost over that line, trying to get down. The grounding is good, and the referee signals try scored for the British Army.
Great score by the Army there. Brilliant.
That's the difficulty for the RAF in the line-out defence there. If you do choose to lift the pod up and you don't get the ball, you're quite exposed. The Army formed well and pretty simple march over for 5 metres for 5 points.
Dave, it's definitely one area of the game where the Army seems to have the upper hand, isn't it? The line-out seems to be ticking a bit more for the boys in red than the boys in blue at the minute.
Yeah, unfortunately, certainly for myself and the RAF boys, they used their maul really well in the second half at Stourbridge against the Navy, so they've got a really good formed maul when they get going. But the difficulty they've had tonight is they can't actually make that connection between hooker and line-out jumper, and that's really, really frustrating them at the moment.
Can they add the extras? Well, it looks like a good strike just off the upright as well. So 10 points to 8. The score remains British Army leading the Royal Air Force here in Cardiff. And a treat for us watching on that the lead keeps changing hands as well.
Be interested as the night goes on whether that kick miss will be crucial. Leaves the points difference between one penalty kick and with Jenkins' range, as we've seen, probably comfortable from around halfway. Could be dangerous lead moving forward.
Ball going towards Jenkins, who watches on as it bounces forward, but nicely taken.
Oh, it's great.
Lovely from the right winger.
Good option on the kick. Great kick through.
Waiting for a kind bounce. Price herring after it.
Pressure now from the Army. We need to put them under pressure up here.
Oh, good counter from the Royal Air Force, though.
Oh, they're running out from the deep.
Jenkins putting the gas on as Jenkins and finding Smith. Puts the boot in, Smith into the centre of the field. And it's Thorne who...
Referee's got cramp, it looks like.
Much to the delight of the crowd.
As if he's called the game off there because he's gone down like that. Unbelievable.
One of the biggest cheers of the night so far, it seems. Some of those ironic ones.
I don't think those fluorescent yellow shirts help. He's making it stand out even more than it already has.
He needs some electrolytes, doesn't he?
Hopefully they've kept an eye on where the game was when they paused it. Was the Army in possession on the edge of the 22. The territory being such key in this game so far.
Yeah, Dave, we'll just referee from up here, mate, won't we? Do it for him.
How many votes do you think you guys will get from up in the stands?
Plenty.
Well, we've had great news recently. Ryan Crowley, who we've seen plenty of, scoring many tries in RAF and UCAV colours, now lining out for Leicester Tigers, which has been brilliant to see. And really integrating well with the squad, it seems. And it's the birthday indeed as well of Jamie Doy, kit manager at Tigers. So happy birthday to you, Jamie. Hope you're having a wonderful one. And we'll be following closely how Ryan gets on. And it's been great to see his story as well being shared quite a bit on social media. Some of the Leicester players and others around the country.
Yeah, he's done really well, Ryan. Obviously, like I've started playing with him at London Scottish a few years back, and he was always a dynamic, fast, hard-working player, and it's obviously paid off really well for him. And he's been given an opportunity at Leicester, and he's taken it with both hands. And yeah, I wish him all the best.
Yeah, just another highlight of military rugby, really. Ryan joins several players from across the men's and women's games playing in the high level of civilian rugby, whether that be the PWR, the Premiership, or the Championship. It just shows the military rugby is going from strength to strength.
Owen Davis. Owen and Sophie watching from Hitchin, cheering on her cousin and skipper, Will Llewellyn. Hope Steve Tandy is watching, might get the call-up.
Yeah, we need to get him off the field, don't we? The boys are getting cold now. They're going to have to start going through the hands because he's been down a while.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's going to continue, so hopefully preparations are going on the sideline to make the necessary changes and we can get back on with the game.
It's only cramp as well.
Medics have been kept busy tonight.
I think he's milking it at this point.
All jokes aside, this is often quite a critical time when something like this happens, not necessarily just a referee an injury, or it could be anything, a delay in the game. Given the game's in quite a precarious position and scoreline, it'll be interesting to see which team reacts best in this next 5-minute period when we get going again. Could make all the difference as we look to the final result tonight.
Great to see your comments and support for both sides, strong as always in these championships. Emily saying Moseley Clan supporting RAF, come on Blues. Jessica Yaravoli cheering for the Army, and Will Savodi.
It's a shame as well, because at that point of the game, Dave, it was the game had opened up, hadn't it? It was end-to-end stuff. So yeah, this break is oh, it's good to, here we go, he's getting up. Standing applause from the crowd. It's good to see.
Well, he's trudging off the field. And warm applause as well, as you say, Mikey, for his getting up. But a bit of a switch of referees. Not something you see too often.
I did say it'd be interesting to see where they restarted the game, and it appears they've put the scrum on the opposite side of the pitch to where the ball actually was. But at least it's, I suppose, in the right territory if you're wearing light blue.
Seeing things through a mirror, it seems. But yeah, just a little change here. Hopefully back to the action very shortly.
Oh, there you go, Dave.
Oh. Obviously, the referees may be listening to BFBS. They seem to be making their way a little bit over, well, albeit only 5 yards, but
probably a good decision. I see the 10s stacked behind the scrum this time. Maybe we're looking just to, as we're ahead, just get a nice exit up the field.
Referee having a word with the front rows and indeed the full packs.
talk about the 1%ers as well, and it'll be interesting to see which captain from the Army or the RAF adapts to the referee. Clearly every referee referees to the same laws, but there's always subtle differences and subtle interpretations that they have, so it'll be interesting to see how the teams adapt to that.
Clearance comes, but skews off the outside of the boot into the hands of Jenkins, who turns back towards midfield. Lamborn Price was
almost through there. That was a seatbelt tackle, but that was okay. Here we go, another 3 points, Dave.
Yeah, I think continue the theme of the second half of the RAF.
Will it be Shine or will it be Jenkins to go for this?
Like you said, Dave, you know, they're missing that conversion for the British Army there on that last try. You know, it could come to kill the game in the end, you know. So they get this kick, they're back in the lead, the RAF. So it just shows you how important the kicking game really is.
Yeah, it seems to be watching a little bit of a different game to the first half. I know we spoke off air at half time that as the game progresses and it gets closer to that final result, the pressure's going to build, and we've got 30 young gentlemen on the field, and pressure does interesting things. You can see we had a lot of moving ball in the first half, whereas it seems to have really tightened up, and whether that's messages from the coaches or just a little bit of a reluctance to move that pass or risk that pass.
It will indeed be Jenkins with the attempt.
Got a little bit of a private shout out here from a couple of old RAF stalwarts, players and coaches from Copper Keene and Kev Skinner watching out in Cyprus, in down in RAF Akrotiri.
Well, one of the more straightforward angles, but had to be done, and Jenkins did it. Another 3 points for the Royal Air Force. And British Army 10, Royal Air Force 11. In this fascinating decider in these championships. Quite a few long passes have been employed in this match.
Oh, well held there.
Edwards changes direction. Jenkins, a lovely looping pass this time. Finding his captain Llewellyn. And Smith, who's very slippery indeed on that far side. That's wonderful stuff. He's got Llewellyn in support. Just inches away from that try line. And quick ball. Edwards gets that out. Oh, lovely stuff, and Mosley it is this time, getting over the line and scoring for the Royal Air Force.
That's a great wheel work try for the RAF. Looked like a bit of a speculative throw with a long pass, but found Llewellyn, who made great strides up the pitch, found Jay Smith, the danger man. Again, really slippery customer at that 5 metre channel. Gave the ball back inside to Llewellyn, put the ruck down, quick offload off the deck to the 9, and then move the ball too quick for the Army defence to get back and cover.
Well, a big few minutes for the Royal Air Force. I think scored that penalty and now a try as well, extending their lead.
With this conversion, it could be the first time tonight we see the side go 2 scores ahead. It's a really crucial kick for the RAF here.
Puts it through the middle. The kick is good. And 18 points to 10. The lead now stretched to 8 for the Royal Air Force. Just increasing the daylight between the sides in this match, which has been so tight so far on the scoreline. British Army will have to respond here.
Oh, it's a great kick-off. Oh, just short. It's worked out very nicely for the RAF yet again here.
Through it comes replacement Bowdell. Richardson.
Good control from the RAF 10 here. You can just see him in the backfield behind his pods, just barking the orders, so that's good to see. Oh, and they're creating space now quite easily as well. It's great footwork.
Oh, Jenkins, can he finish this one off by himself? Jenkins, he's getting ever closer to that try line, stretching and scoring over the whitewash. Wonderful stuff from the inside centre. He's been instrumental for this side tonight.
Yeah, an unbelievable run from Kieran Jenkins there. RAF just built phases nicely. Actually went pretty direct for the first time tonight. Probably 2-3 big carries. Quick ball from the 9. Pull out the back from Llewellyn, and Jenks took it on the angle, that J line, and then backed his pace and his step to the corner, and a great finish in the corner. Now he's got to compose himself as he walks back to take the kick. Well within that right-hand side touchline.
They've really come to life the last 5 minutes, haven't they, the RAF, and yeah, credit where it's due, they are playing some very attractive rugby.
Kick comes in, not quite made, so the score remains 23 points to 10 in favour of the Light Blues, the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, it's a massive momentum change in the game there for the RAF. Ironically, it came off 2 different kickoffs. One, for the first time tonight, the RAF took cleanly, built phases from deep in their own half and went up and scored. The second, the Army didn't kick 10, the RAF played it, and suddenly 2, 3, 4 phases later, we're under the 6 again.
the Army need to be very composed now and regroup and just, you know, take a few minutes, get steady, and just get back into that good rhythm that they had before. Otherwise, the scoreline could run away with them.
In a very strong position now, the Royal Air Force. Ball bouncing off the chest.
Oh, offside, they come back for a penalty. I'd go for a quick tap here. Either that or stick it in the corner.
I think the referees called them for chasing the kick from in front of the kicker. One that the referees seem to be quite keen on this season, and really frustrating from the RAF's perspective.
Obviously, we've seen already in this game that this is where the Army are strong. This is a strong point. So, in terms of the scoreboard, we really need to score next. So hopefully we can rumble this over.
The Army need to respond, and in quick fashion, you'd feel. 13 points adrift at the stage of the match, deep into the second half.
Again, while the RAF plays down, Willowell rallying his forward pack. Again, it'd be interesting to see what decision he makes with his line-out defence here, given the last time they went up, the Army secured the ball and ultimately scored from the driving maul. From the initial setup, it looks like they may be staying down.
Just another pause. We've had a few of those recently. Just some medical attention. It's been a pleasing turnout as well here in Cardiff. Plenty in their woolly hats on this fairly chilly December evening. I think reflecting the quality that we're seeing and reflecting the support that's out there for under-23s inter-service rugby, which is great to see. Bodes well for the future as well.
And what better place to do it other than, you know, in the city centre of Cardiff. It's a great place to have this fixture, definitely.
Oh, back to the action now. And the British Army with an opportunity. An opportunity they dearly need at this stage.
Dave, I'm assuming that you'd hit this, you'd let this come down and you'd hit it hard, right?
Well, the ball's gone back. Staying in those red shirt hands. Kennerson, outside back replacement, taking it into contact.
I think that's what the RAF boys were going to attempt there, but obviously the line-out didn't go to plan from the Army perspective, but they've still got the ball and looking to use their power game.
Inching ever closer to the try line, the British Army.
Referee's playing
Johnson
advantage.
with winging it out wide there.
Seen a bit of space on that far side. White scrum cap, Tagi Tuamua. Not quite getting there yet, but body's getting...
It's a good effort.
Agonisingly close to the whitewash.
Sapper Johnson there barking the orders. Oh, we'll come back for the penalty.
Referee just wanting to have a word. As the rain's starting to fall more heavily again.
Yeah, I spoke about adapting to the referees' interpretations, and the RAF have been on the wrong side of a few calls now. From their perspective, need to be careful with their discipline now. The last thing the RAF are going to want is the referee going to his pocket and allowing the Army to have that one man up.
Patience now from the Army. It's what we need. Phases. Take your time. It's a great carry.
They seem to have made
great try as well.
They sure have, the Army. It's a try for them. And quick response to those RAF scores. Delight on the faces of the red shirts.
Great power play under the sticks. Hopefully we can convert this. 7 points back up. That's good.
And the RAF will be frustrated with their defence there. It was just, again, you expect the power game from 5 yards out from the quick tap, but first carry up, we shouldn't really be scoring there. think from an Army side, they'll be looking to get deep into the RAF territory again and employ that power game we speak of, because it seems to be where they're getting some real joy at the moment.
That was nice work from the British Army. Now within a converted try of the RAF. 17-23 they trail. And what a finish we have in store here in Cardiff.
Yeah, this is where all players on the pitch will start looking towards that clock, the stadium clock up on our left-hand side, and the scoreline on the centre of the stand.
I'd like to see what the Army do. You know, they've wanted to attack from deep all game, but, you know, I do feel like we should be exiting this ball nice and deep and playing in the right areas now, which is it. Oh,
skewed off the right side of that boot.
It's unlucky.
Ollie Thorne.
I've been waiting for you to put one of those on the Army, Mikey, I'll be honest with you. To put the RAF in good territory, as long as they can secure their own line-up ball. The wind seems to be picking up, judging by the AR's flag, and we've certainly got some more rain falling.
Harry Peacock, replacement hooker for the RAF.
Ooh,
Gone short.
Didn't go 5 though.
Fellow replacement Bowdell.
By the way, Dave's looking at me. It did go 5. Sorry, Dave.
It's good when you can be held accountable, isn't it?
Maybe I was wrong.
RAF quite narrow here, looking to again go a bit more direct, as they've had some success with in this area.
Great pick and go. Great scramble D from the Army though.
George Bambro. Peacock it is, that fantastic multicoloured scrum cap replacement.
Good introduction, good little carry, good first line out.
Back in the hands of Llewellyn, the skipper. Really has led from the front tonight.
Oh.
And penalty for the Royal Air Force.
So we've got to be smart in them areas. We just have to ice that ball, leave the ball.
Yeah, needless penalty from the Army there. The RAF had numbers, they'd gone over quite easily. And the Army just didn't leave the ball.
And it's probably gifted an easy 3 points for the RAF. It just enhances that scoreline a bit further.
Moves it beyond a converted try, if it's made.
Taking the 4 minute hill.
He took his time to good effect, Jenkins, and another 3 points for the Royal Air Force. 26 points to 17 they lead as we head towards the closing stages of this fascinating decider.
I've been really impressed with the game management of the key decision makers in the RAF side in this second half. Whether it be 9 or 10 or Will Llewellyn as captain, they seem to be playing in the right areas, not forcing too much. And as I say that, the ball goes offloaded into touch from Captain Will Llewellyn. Didn't have the success his offload had on the opposite side of the field early in the second half.
Commentator's curse again there, Dave. You've said it yourself, mate. Keep it coming.
Probably at this stage should have a tally chart of how many times each of you has cursed respective sides.
No, but Dave is right. You know, they are managing it pretty well. It's just, you know, the odd choices here and there, but they have managed it in their at their 9 and 10 and with their captain quite well thus far. So credit again where it's due. Oh, and he's come through them. That's a great steal from the RAF there.
Looks like it's spilled forward.
RAF ball.
These are key moments for the Army to try and fight their way back on this scoreboard.
Dave, what's happened there?
I think, to be fair, I was going to say, I think we may have got away with one. I think the RAF actually stripped the ball and then knocked on, rather than the Army knocking on and then RAF knocking on. So I think with a bit of assistance from his AR, the referees probably got to the right call there.
Looks like it'll be a 12 balls here and a 10 at the back to attack that deep right corner. Great footwork.
To pick up. Very nicely gathered by Thorne. Finding more space after the ball bounced into his hands. Going through the phases now.
Good ball from the 9.
Just a delayed pass, not quite finding more space. But the Army hold on to the ball nevertheless.
Reversing the play. They've got numbers on.
Bounced off by Cole. Here's some of those challenges as well. That one from Richardson.
Yeah, that's the second one in this defensive set he's put in. He's really putting himself about.
Delight for the Royal Air Force. Another penalty goes their way.
Just while we got a break of play, I've had another a shout out to one of our senior players who's on detachment out in the Ascension Islands. So definitely got some better weather than we've got down in Cardiff. He's out with the firefighter lads out in Ascension Islands, cheering on the RAF.
Indeed, lovely to hear from you all this evening. Great to have your company with us, watching live on BFBS Forces News. Peacock throws, cleanly taken.
Good line-up by the RAF. I've been impressed with the replacement because he's come on the field. He's made a good impact.
Yeah, it's Harry Peacock. He's actually the brother of Cap Tucker, Josh Peacock. Younger brother.
Forward.
I think he did well with this throw there because there was definitely a bit of miscommunication at the front of the RAF line out. But they managed to react well and get Willowellen up in middle ball to play off the top.
Got to say, Dave, there's been far too many times for my liking in this game so far. I'm sure you're loving it.
Yeah, although on the last scrum, to be fair, it seemed to be the best contest we've had all night. It was a really good pushing battle, to be fair.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
A few replacements.
It's a great scrum from the Army there.
See again, both sides trying to get dominance. Really good scrum.
Yeah, it was a good scrum.
Oh, and bursting
Great
through
line.
the middle.
Oh.
Just a half break, and Jenkins taking it back into hand. Good recovery from the RAF. That could have been a little messy.
With the scoreline the way it is now, the RAF, they could just afford to put the ball in the down here in the Army's other end of the half. Just keep the ball down there. They don't need to play too much rugby. They're in a commanding position, so that's what they should do.
Rubber comes through and bounces over Thorne.
Oh,
bounced fortuitously almost for Mosley. Try scorer.
Great volley.
Nicely tracking back to make the tackle as well. Nice distribution from the Army. But as soon as I say that, the ball's knocked forward. Much in the vein of many things this evening.
Attended, look, they had a little glance in the backfield. There's a lot of space again. And he's I've called it. And he's put it there, look.
That's a gorgeous kick.
That's an outstanding kick by 10, Cam Shine. As Mikey said,
kick.
Yeah, Mikey said the backfield was left open. He's got the angle on the kick and he's put it within 2 feet of the corner flag. Just on this near side, we got Kieran Jenkins, who looks like he's down with a bit of a nasty shoulder injury at the moment. So the RAF down to 14, as are the Army with looks like they're number 8.
Tim Land down, stretching that leg. Jenkins has not left anything in the changing rooms. He's been everywhere on the field tonight. making fantastic kicks as well.
All jokes aside, but with the referee going down with a cramp and stuff, it's this surface, and it's so fast, and it does happen. It's probably the most common injury on this sort of surface. So I'm not surprised to see quite a few people get down, getting the legs stretched out. Cramps are very common.
Yeah, I think that's why you find when teams know they're playing on a 4G pitch or an artificial pitch, they try and get some of their training sessions on something that replicates it so the bodies can try and get used to it. I think generally it does take a few weeks of training on it till your body actually really gets used to it. But you can try your best in the lead up to a game to prepare your players with it.
It's going to be a very tough corner for the Army to exit out of here. Let's see if they can get a good kick in.
Clearance made, touch made. But the Royal Air Force forcing the Army to make the plays.
I think they'll take that exit. They're outside the 22 just, but again, as I said before, kicking game's so important. The 10 and the 9 from the RAF, they can keep peppering these corners. It puts the Army under so much pressure in their own half. So, it's good game management.
Peacock with the ball, throwing into the line out. Another good one.
Much better line out, Dave.
In the way of Will Llewellyn.
Yeah, slick off the top and allows that go forward carry in midfield. Although the Army seem to be doing well to slow it down again.
They've stacked their short side here, but the ball's come out too slow, I feel.
May have slowed that down a bit. The ball's going backwards.
Good footwork again.
Lamborn Price again, as he's done so often tonight. Finding space. Army defence straight into Peacock.
The Army are starting to fly up in 1s or 2s now, and if the RAF can pick them off, just like this, there may be some chances present themselves.
Looks like potentially another player down with a cramp on the far side of the field here from the RAF.
Can't quite see who it is. It might be Louis Price, is it?
And the Army's Tagi Tuamua as well, number 10, just being checked over.
No, his Army's just gone.
It's a shame for Lamborn Price. He's had a great game.
Great footwork, yeah. One step too many.
Yeah, he's had a really solid game. As I said earlier, great under the high ball, but equally when he's had to make those returns, really solid in the game today. Really good game.
Oh,
moves the other way, does Edwards. Shines in the thick of it.
Oh, isolated.
Yeah, that's frustrating there. The RAF sent 2 backs down the left-hand side, and the Army reacted well, had numbers. We just didn't have enough to clear that breakdown. I did think at one point that little grubber behind was on again, but Cam Shine looked to carry rather than kick.
Yeah, I feel like the player swinging around was a little bit late, so that the shoulder tip was not on. Oh, and they've just missed touch. Yeah, criminal.
You feel that those chances are perhaps slipping away now for the Army.
Brilliant kick. Oh,
lovely boot in.
50-22.
50-22, and just to sum up the momentum in this last 10 minutes, wonderful play from the RAF again.
It's a wonderful kick from Kieran Jenkins off his weaker left foot from inside his own half, and he's put his forward pack right in the mix in the Army 22.
Again, that's come from a penalty kick from the Army. Kicking again, it's so important. He's missed touch. They've spun it wide, the space in the backfield, and you go from having a potential 40-metre gain as the attacking team to being on the receiving end 10 metres up from your line. So yeah, it's a great 50-22, but something that should not have happened, and that ball should have really gone into touch.
I think we're probably looking at a bit of scoreboard pressure at this stage of the game, with the Army being 9 points down. He's probably trying to steal a bit more yardage and got a little bit greedy, and again kept the ball in touch. We've seen that a few times in the last 5 minutes where the Army have have thrown probably an offload they didn't necessarily need to do, and it's ultimately given RAF possession at this area of the park.
And back onto your point, Dave, it's pressure, isn't it? You know, it's the game's getting, the scoreline's the same. There's not much time left in the game, so you know players are probably trying to do a bit more than they should do, and the pressure piles on.
A lovely rolling maul from the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, this is that maul I spoke of earlier. If they can get it down and set, they've got a really good set maul, and they can cause damage, and they're looking to score now.
Looking to get those bodies over the line. Ever so close to it now. Have they got there?
Held up.
Just held up.
It's a great driving maul though from the RAF there.
And that's the game.
Celebrations for the Royal Air Force. Not since 2006 have they been jubilant in victory in this competition. A brilliant win at the beginning against the defending champions, 42 points to 14 in that one. And following it up here, a very close game at times, certainly 5-5 coming into the second half. But my word, these last 20 minutes they've played brilliantly, putting the pressure on the Army, who just in the end didn't have the answers for that. And richly deserved victory in this competition for the Light Blues.
Yeah, I think RAF head coach John Neville is going to be absolutely buzzing with that game, particularly that second half. They came out, as we've said, managed the game really well. Half-backs put them in the right areas, and I'll include Kieran Jenkins in that with his wonderful long-range kicking. They took the points when on offer and just played the corners really well, and ultimately forced the Army to try and win the game from their own 22, which, with a few too many forced offloads and errors, they weren't able to do.
And Mikey, a clear disappointment, of course, as we can see from those British Army players, but just a step too far in the end, really, with those late tries from the RAF.
Yeah, disappointing. You know, I think the boys did play really well. They were very unlucky, I feel. You know, a few things didn't go their way. They made a few key errors in parts of the game where they couldn't afford to. But I've got to say, the RAF, very well deserved winners today. They put in a great performance, and yeah, I hope they have a good evening celebrating with their boys and their management and their backroom staff, and enjoy their night out in Cardiff. I'm sure that's where they'll be going, Dave.
Yeah, I think as you look over at them celebrating deep in the 22, I think those celebrations are probably going to go quite late into the night, and dare I say it, early into the morning. 19 years is a long time at this level. Been a long time coming, and I'm sure they'll make up for that tonight.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved.
And from number 1 to 23, right across the field, they've been impressive. The Royal Air Force, very clear with their plans from the start, as they were against the Royal Navy, shipping the ball wide. They knew they had pace out wide, but what a great shift from Llewellyn and his forwards in that pack as well. I think it's been a real team victory, and a great effort from all those players. As we see the handshakes and the high fives and the hugs as well.
What was good to see, though, is very competitive, wasn't it? From start to finish, I thought it could have gone any way, either side way, but, you know, again, fair play to the RAF.
Well, we'll just head down pitch side now, because Kath Brazier is with jubilant skipper Will Llewellyn of the Royal Air Force.
Okay, and I'm here with winning captain Will Llewellyn. Will, quite some celebrations there. You guys must be delighted. A brilliant game today.
Yeah, just honestly so proud of the boys. Like, it's been a long season, like 6 weeks of hard graft, and especially the last 3 weeks, like, we've really come together. Great group, deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really tough first half, low scoring. You must have thought at some points, if the Army can do it, they can come back. So you must have been worried, but a great second half.
Yeah, I mean, first half was such a battle. And I think when we went in second half, you know, like, what their backs can do. Can run from anywhere, score from anywhere. So but that second half, just like in the Navy, we knew we had a second wind in us. And the boys backed it up. Perfect.
The rain's been kind and sort of held off a little bit for you, but I understand a lot of you know, Cardiff Arms Parks is like a home fixture, but what a place to play. A lot of rugby history here.
Yeah, I know. I was getting pretty emotional during the anthem, to be fair. No, honestly, amazing. Like, so good to play here, and like, a lot of our boys are Welsh as well, so like, it means a lot. But yeah, awesome.
Navy were champions last year. You beat them in the first game, and then the Navy beat the Army. So you were at an advantage when you came into this. But you've really gelled as a group, and actually the RAF senior men are saying, you know, it's so great to see what's coming up in RAF rugby.
Yeah, definitely. I think we obviously knew about the points and the advantage coming in, but like, the mindset was in the week, we just want to win the game and like have no doubt we're the best. And in terms of the seniors, I think last year we had some real strides, showing that we are in it. It's not just a 2-horse race. So hopefully this year, same thing, we can do it senior level.
Good night out in Cardiff plan then?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, go tear it up now. So yeah, should be good.
Enjoy yourself. Congratulations. Well done, Will.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Well, the British Army disappointed, of course, being consoled by the backroom staff. They've played their part in this fantastic finale. Jubilation, ecstasy for those Royal Air Force players. And what a wonderful tournament they've had. They've had to wait a little while, of course, after that opening match. Watching on as the Army were beaten very narrowly at Burnaby Road in Portsmouth by the Royal Navy. But of course, as a mark of what they've done and the quality in this match as well, those British Army players are getting ready to receive their medals and commendation for what they've done. I think there'll be plenty of photographs going well into the night for the light blues. See a few of them as well. Maybe a few sore backs. Some of those piggybacks that we're seeing as well, Dave Manning. But I tell you what, the future looks bright for the RAF if this is anything to go by.
Yeah, definitely. Over the last kind of 12-18 months, we've made several changes, trying to improve RAF rugby and get ourselves to where we want to be, competing and ultimately winning. And this is just the beginning. Hopefully these lads we can see moving on into the new year, appearing with the senior team again, and potentially appearing out on Franklin's Gardens or Kingsholm Stadium in the senior men's 15. But I've got to say to John Neville, all of his PSG, all the players that have played throughout this season, a massive congratulations. They've had what some have said a tough few warm-up games. They've picked themselves up against some high-level opposition, the likes of Chinner, Coventry Academy, and had some tough results. But they've learned a lot of lessons, and ultimately, at representative level, it comes down to 2 games, and that's the inter-service fixtures against the Navy and the Army, and they've come out on the right side of the results. Everything they've done throughout that season has built towards this moment. The togetherness, the culture they've built, clearly evident on show on both occasions, and just a massive well done to all involved in the squad.
And Mikey, of course, as we're seeing with those Army players, arm in arm, crestfallen, gutted after what they've been through tonight. But of course, we know there's a high turnover of players at under-23 level, and if the quality of player is anything to go by, I think you've been fairly impressed by quite a few across the board tonight.
Yeah, massively impressed. Hopefully a lot of these boys can push on to play a bit of first team this year. Obviously, it's a long way away yet. We've got a few games coming up in January and February, and their development fixtures, so hopefully a few of them can feature. I was impressed with a few individual performances. Obviously, you've got George in there who's played for the men's first team before, so the progression is there, and players can push on from 23 to play for the first team. And it'd be great to see if some of them can push on later on this year.
I'll just listen to those cheers as Jenkins makes his way up.
Thoroughly deserved Man of the Match award for Kieran Jenkins there. He kicked wonderfully throughout the night, scored that brilliant try, distributed well in midfield, and well deserving of that award.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
Well, the Royal Air Force waits with anticipation. They know what's about to come next. Shiny trophies sitting on the table. What a wonderful mark in their rugby careers and service careers too, as they're being ushered to come up as well. And the British Army, first of all, what a hand they've played. Of course, disappointment will take a little while to wear off, but hopefully they'll look back on this with such pride as well, as both sides receive handshakes and medals for their participation in this game. Great to see such fierce competition as well for places at this level. Not always easy with deployments and injuries, but it's great as well from the chain of command to release a lot of these players to be available to play. And well, it's very exciting looking into the new year, the Senior Inter-Service Championships in the spring. And a decent portion of the crowd staying on to watch this. There have been many friends and family here of the players enjoying their moments perhaps those from the city as well. Great Welsh support to come out tonight to the stands.
Yeah, heavily Welsh influenced RAF side tonight with Will Llewellyn, the captain, Kieran Jenkins himself, Jay Smith, Brad Avon and Cam Shine, both from Aberavon Harlequins. So lots of local support for the RAF tonight, I'm sure.
It's great to see as well some of the other wider squad members, backroom staff being congratulated on their efforts. We know how many are needed just to get these players fit and ready to take on the opposition. And I think a game as well that's been played in very, very good spirits, which is always pleasing to see. Lots of great sport coming up on BFBS Forces News, but for now, Will Llewellyn shaking hands and holding that trophy, just about to get ready to bring it back to his men as they're beginning to jump up and down and celebrate here in Cardiff. And what a moment this is. A special night, none of these boys will forget. Milestone moment for the Royal Air Force as well, as Llewellyn gets ready to hoist aloft those trophies. Your champions, under 23 level 2025, the Royal Air Force.
That's it. You can't equalise. That was fantastic. What a goal. What a goal.
Heading towards goal and it's in.
And it's a goal. A little bit of space just on the edge of the penalty area and straight into the goal.
Fantastic goal. Wow.
Challenging in the box. It's in. It's another brilliant goal. Brilliantly taken then. It's a goal, John.
Full time in this match. Thrilling stuff, especially in the second half. That is sensational.